This program is one in a series dealing with general highway maintenance tasks. The programs are not designed to be all-inclusive, but rather to provide a reasonable and logical basis for discussion about employee safety. The user should not assume that all safety measures are indicated or that other measures may not be required. Welcome to Job Safety Analysis, a video series about your workday and your personal safety. This program will provide a look at vegetation management, and we will look at it from the viewpoint of the mechanical control of vegetation, mowing and side dozing, as well as the chemical control, spraying. And we will begin, as always, with job preparation. Vegetation management, whether conducted on a major arterial or a rural road, has one common factor. You will be in close proximity to moving traffic. Your foreman will ensure there is an adequate supply of fresh water. Never use local streams or springs for drinking water. A first aid kit is available in the event of a minor injury, and a fully charged fire extinguisher is part of the equipment. But it's your responsibility to remember the nature of the job. Slow-moving operation, traffic, and machinery operation or chemical application. Think about those things when you have your daily safety talk. After you leave the yard, it may be too late to ask questions. It's your safety that is being talked about. This is an item that will change with the job, but there is one thing that won't. The first rule of being safe is being seen. Whether you have a truck-mounted attenuator and signs or just a truck-mounted aero board behind you, use what you are given to help maintain proper traffic control. The blitzer light, lights on the equipment itself, flags, warning signs, any item that helps you increase your visibility to traffic, most of which will move over if enough warning is given, although sometimes that movement can be more of a danger than a help. Work zone traffic control begins with you. Make every effort to stay out of the travel way. Give traffic as much room as possible. Stay within the shield of your following vehicle. It's your security zone. Like the other crews that travel countywide, you can come in contact with what people leave behind, as well as what nature provides. In the summertime, there is the presence of poison ivy, and there is a lot of it in this part of the country. If you are exposed to poison ivy or to poison oak, use a decontamination solution at the end of each day. If you become infected, there is a treatment solution in the first aid kit. There could be stinging insects in the trees or undergrowth, as well as larger neighborhood creatures. And this larger neighborhood creature with the friendly reputation is the major carrier of the deer tick, the transmitter of Lyme disease. All employees who work in or around a wooded area or thick vegetation should wear protective clothing, pants without cuffs or tucked into boots. Use an insect repellent applied to exposed areas of the body, as well as around cuffs and collars. Upon leaving the work area, check thoroughly for ticks on your clothing and body, and if a deer tick is found on your person, your supervisor should be notified, and as a precaution, seek medical attention. You could encounter a pipeline or power line, and don't forget where you are in relation to overhead power lines. And there's the chance for heat exhaustion or sunburn. Give your environment the respect it deserves. Your personal protective equipment and your personal clothing should work together. The hard hat and gloves are issue items, and although long sleeves are recommended but not required, think about that recommendation. We have already mentioned the insects and the vegetation, the sun and the heat. Those long sleeves will give you added protection. This section deals with the movement of equipment. Whether you are engaged in mechanical vegetation control or in chemical vegetation control, periodically you may find it necessary to cross a roadway. Use all your warning devices, including the following safety vehicle if you have one. Remember, the first rule of safety is to be seen, and the second could be to remember where you are in relation to traffic. When you must move nearer traffic, do so with caution. Mowing, side dozing, spraying do not normally involve lifting. However, you can still give yourself some discomfort. For this operation, the equipment operator should, if possible, be rotated. Saves on everyone's back. And even as simple a job as raking can put undue strain on your body, as can the repeated gear shifting. Once again, alternate jobs where possible. The chance for exposure to hazardous materials while involved in vegetation management varies. For the mechanized control portion, it's normally what you find out there. For the chemical side of the operation, it's what you bring with you. Know what came out of the warehouse and onto the truck. Truck-mounted spraying operations do not usually require the use of special safety equipment. However, there is always a chance of exposure to drifting or newly placed chemicals. Be alert and know the rules for counteracting eye or skin contact. It's been hot, dusty, and a long day. A day that began with safety is the first step. Make sure that safety stays with you on the ride home. Do you remember our 8 parts of the workday? Your day begins here. Be alert to where you are going to be working and under what conditions. Even though the traffic is supposed to be one way, check. We do put up signs with this message. Hazy, hot, humid. 3 reasons to watch your liquid intake and your exposure to the sun. The vest, the hard hat, the gloves. Visibility, safety, no blisters. If it can alert traffic, use it. Alternating operators helps cut down on sore backs. Every blade cut could be the one that encounters something left behind. Watch where your blade goes down. Removing your work zone traffic control properly is just as important as installing it properly. Remember, safety habits are formed by example, not just by advice. The producers of this program wish to thank the maintenance employees of Dauphin, Cumberland, and Juniata counties. This program is one in a series dealing with general highway maintenance tasks. The programs are not designed to be all-inclusive, but rather to provide a reasonable and logical basis for discussion about employee safety. The user should not assume that all safety measures are indicated or that other measures may not be required. Welcome to Job Safety Analysis, a a video series about your workday and your personal safety. This program will provide a general look at litter and trash pickup. And we will begin, as we do with all maintenance tasks, with job preparation. Litter pickup is listed as an inclement weather activity, another way of saying it's unscheduled. You may arrive at the work site expecting to be doing one job and finding that you and your crew will be doing litter pickup. So you should always have immediate access to gloves and outerwear. The rest of your job preparation is very similar to any of your jobs that take you out on the highway. The foreman will review the general safety features and will see that fresh water, a first aid kit, and a fire extinguisher are available for your use. Speaking of fresh water, never drink from streams or local springs or other untreated water sources. Everyone in the crew should know the location of the nearest medical facility and the procedure for contacting the police or an ambulance. The department actively supports groups who help to control the highway litter problem. The Adopt a Highway program, with its over 4,000 participating groups, and the younger people involved in the annual Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful Day, all receive detailed instructions on safety, attire, conduct. In their day-to-day travels, they see our crews doing the same task. If we do it wrong, the message we send on safety is confusing. Even if you are scheduled to do litter pickup off the travelway, you will still be exposed to traffic during the installation or removal of signs or channeling devices. If you are going to have vehicles parked along the roadway or involved in a slow-moving operation, remember your clear zone. You are required to maintain a clear zone between the shadow vehicle and the work area or the vehicle in front for a recommended distance of 100 to 250 feet. Just as important, no one, on foot or in a vehicle, is allowed in the clear zone. It's there for your safety. Don't diminish its effectiveness. Stay out. Litter pickup will get you close to nature, and nature can have an effect on your workday. The vegetation can be home to many things. Poison ivy and poison oak are very common in this part of the country. If exposed, use a decontamination solution at the end of the day. If you become infected, there is a treatment solution in the first aid kit. There could be stinging insects in the undergrowth or in nearby trees, or larger neighborhood creatures. You may like to stand on flat rocks. Snakes like to sun themselves on them. Watch where you walk. This large neighborhood creature with a friendly reputation is the major carrier of the deer tick, the transmitter of Lyme disease. All employees who work in or around a wooded area or thick vegetation should wear protective clothing, pants without cuffs or tucked into boots. Use an insect repellent applied to exposed areas of the body as well as around cuffs and collars. Upon leaving the work area, check thoroughly for ticks on your clothing and body, and if a deer tick is found on your person, your supervisor should be notified, and as a precaution, seek medical attention. You could encounter a pipeline or power line, and don't ever forget where you are in relation to overhead power lines. If you think about the insects and pests you may encounter, using your personal protective equipment is just common sense. The rules say you must wear a top with sleeves, and long sleeves are recommended. Remember the ivy and the insects. Those sleeves will protect your skin. Long trousers and no cuffs to provide a new house for ticks or other insects. And leather work shoes, preferably with steel toe and shank. Despite any comments to the contrary, hard hats are cooler than baseball-style caps if adjusted properly. Plus, it helps minimize the effect of the sun, and it protects your head. And the vest and or blaze orange shirt increase your visibility. The need for maintaining a clear zone for your operation was mentioned previously. Equally important is the positioning of your equipment. Keep the vehicles as far off the right-of-way as possible. Make use of any available open space. You will be moving the equipment at irregular intervals, so give the passing traffic all the room you can. Handling materials on litter pickup will involve lifting, carrying, stretching. Load materials from the shoulder side of the road, not the traffic side. Some things will have to be left for bigger pieces of equipment. And some things must be handled with special care. Litter and trash pickup will keep you surprised at what people throw away. Filled containers without markings, as well as packages that are leaking, all require caution. It may only be water, but to be sure, check with your supervisor. Working off the travel way for most of the day can make you forget about the traffic and its dangers. Finish your day as you started it, safely. Do you remember our 8 parts of the workday? Good job preparation begins with being aware of what you are going to be doing and under what conditions. Proper work zone traffic control requires planning and cooperation. Check at the end of your day to be sure you're not taking some of the environment home with you. The cones help the traffic see the work zone. Your personal protective equipment helps the traffic see you. And the proper positioning of the vehicles adds to that visibility. The young people are aware of the dangers. Don't you forget.
Guys, be careful, okay?
What you are not sure about, ask about. Unknown materials require extra caution. Perhaps in the future people will obey the sign. But until then, practice safety. Remember, safety habits are formed by example, not just by advice. The producers of this program wish to thank the maintenance employees of the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation.